Oh, hey guys. You know, we get a lot of feedback here on the show. Last week, it wasn't all positive. A lot of talk about the hand gestures, too much enthusiasm, too many fun and games, you know? Well, this week we listened to you guys, you know? This is important to us. We don't want you to leave. We want you to stay. We want you to watch these shows. So, you know, we give the people what they want. This week, it's no games. It's no fun. It's just the cold, hard facts. Right here. Week number 6.
Who's number 1?
All right, guys, what's going on? Big weekend to get to. Obviously, the World Cup. That was front and center this weekend. We'll get to that in a minute. But back here in the US, in North America, there was like 10 races that we considered into our rankings this week. A good regional scene going on. We had the Down East Cross up in Maine. We had the Hillsborough Cross Crusade. We had Mabra, DCCX, MFG up in Washington, Major Taylor up in Indianapolis. We had the Sacramento Cross, Cody Kaiser doing big things there. With no further ado, let's do it. Let's get to your women. All right, guys, kicking things off, number 14 this week for your women. It was Andrea Smith going 2 times the winner at the Down East Cross up in Maine. The New England women this season, the Mid-Atlantic women doing some great things up there, some great rivalries. Number 13, Caitlin Antonou, moving up in the rankings. She goes, races the local race there in Indianapolis, takes down her teammate, her roommate, Corinne Rivera, the other U23 rider. Haven't seen her this year, one of the big competitors going into nationals in that U23 field. So great ride for Caitlin there. All right, guys. You know what that sound means? Your jump of the week. Just moving up into the top 10, goes from 20 to 10 this week. Your former drop of the week, it's Mo Bruno Roy. Goes over to the World Cup, 18th place, just behind Nicole Duke. Great things for Mo. Look for her to continue that success for the rest of this season. Number 9 this week, Laura Van Gilder wins the local race down there in the Mid-Atlantic. Now, moving up. All right, number 5 this week, Meredith Miller, a great World Cup for the Cal Giant rider, goes 14th place, only 4 seconds behind your number 3 ranked rider, Amy Dombrowski, who slips back a little bit from last weekend where she was 6th at the World Cup, but still a great start to the year for her. A full season over in Europe. She's adjusting well. Now, moving on, your top 2. It gets tricky, guys. We have Compton and Nash, Nash and Compton. This week at the World Cup, Katie Compton goes home, back to the US. I think she was at a wedding this weekend. Meanwhile, Katarina Nash in the Czech Republic, her home country, Tabor, I think it's less than 20K from her hometown, goes out, takes the win, brings down all the women in the world. So we're gonna give it to Katarina Nash this week in the top ranked rider. I know we go back and forth. Is it last weekend? Is it the season in general? We've thrown out the numbers before. It's about 50% what you did last weekend, 25% what you've done in the season so far, and then about 25% just what we think you're gonna do the rest of the year. So congratulations to Katarina. All right, guys, if we can just stop for a second, I wanna get serious here. I wanna really, think, use our minds, really consider some things in cyclocross. Last weekend, you guys really responded to some of the equations, some of the graphs that we use. So we're gonna do that again this weekend. One of the things that really stood out to me, if you looked at the major media, it was really, one race got all the attention, and that was the UCI race in the Down East. But there was plenty of other races out there. So I wanted to, really dive into that and take a look here. So if you see this map here, you look, the darker blue representing your likeliness of having a UCI race, whereas your redder areas representing your likeliness of having tequila in the feed zone. Now compare this with your next map here, which shows the redder areas representing your likelihood of having fun at a bike race, compared to your bluer areas representing your likelihood of having your wheels stolen from the pit. Whoa, whoa, New England, guys, chill out, I didn't forget about you. Can we get a zoom in here on quadrant L? All right, go ahead and enhance that for me. Yeah, that's more like it. And then your final map of the day with yellow representing unlikely, green representing possible, and dark blue representing definitely your likelihood at your next race to be solicited for a threesome with Adam Meyerson. All right, guys, your men's rankings this week. Starting things off, Aaron Schooler back on the list, wins the Alberta Championships up in Canada. Now, that's right, your jump of the week. But before we get there, as always, your drop of the week. This week, it was close last week. This guy was in contention for the drop of the week, but didn't quite get it this week. Not only does he fall off the list, he falls off the list of the people who fell off the list last weekend. That's right, Jeremy Duran. He sits out Saturday, goes out Sunday, can barely go top 10. What's going on, Jeremy?
Really wanted to do well today, so when I flatted, it's a bummer.
All right, your actual jump of the week this week, Steve Fisher, the U23 rider out of the Northwest at MFG Cross, taking 2nd place there, loses to Logan Owen, the junior rider, but in 3rd place, he beats Sean Babcock, your former jump here on the rankings. Great ride for Steve Fisher. Also moving up on the list, Dylan McNicholas takes a big win on Saturday at New Gloucester, 2nd place at the UCI race there on Sunday. Number 13 this week, Chris Shepard, the Canadian out there in the Northwest, goes to Cross Crusade this weekend, wins the race, then he gets relegated back to 5th place, then they move him up to 3rd place, all because of an improper number placement? But where the fuck was his number? Number 11 this week, Zach McDonald, the U23 rider, goes over to the Czech Republic in the U23 World Cup, has a top 10 ride there. Amazing ride for McDonald. All right, guys, moving in to your top 10 this week. That's right, Justin Lundeen, 10th place, comes onto the rankings in the top 10. We see him on Saturday, no UCI points on the line. You got Jeremy Duran and the likes sitting on the sidelines, resting their legs for the UCI race on Sunday. Not Lundin. He has a mechanical, still fights all the way back up to 3rd place in the mud, in the slop, then comes back out on Sunday, wins the UCI race there. He's unstoppable. He is the champ of New England. He has taken down big names every single weekend. That's it, top 10. Even the Godfather, Adam Meyerson, thinks he should be ranked inside the top 10. But then again, Adam Meyerson has sort of a weird thing for Justin Lundin.
Just telling Justin if we could make a baby, it would be really good at cross.
All right, your top 2 this week, no changes here. Ryan Trebone doesn't race, stays in 2nd position. Meanwhile, Jeremy Powers, the top rider at the World Cup, 15th place, slips back a little bit compared to his 10th place last weekend, but he didn't have that start issue with the cameraman on the start line. A couple guys getting a better position. So Jeremy doing big things in the US this year. The #1 ranked rider, he's a celebrity, guys. You see him here, he's hanging out with the likes of Michael Phelps. Hopefully he didn't take any training advice. But then again, I used to hang out with Jay-Z at the airport, and I haven't started dating Beyonce yet. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Week number 6, Who's Number 1 is in the books. As always, brought to you by Greenwear. Now, we got a big weekend coming up. We're going down to New Jersey. We got UCI races there. I'm going to Boulder, Colorado for the big show in town there as well. As always, go ahead, show us that love, grow the show, grow the sport. Go ahead, click that Facebook like button. No, seriously, click it. Come on, click it. And that's it. We will see you guys next weekend.